President Trump is in the Middle East. New data about consumer prices comes out today. And if you can't stand humidity, you're going to really hate the forecast. That's some of what we'll get to on the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Tuesday, May 13th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Number 1. President Donald Trump arrived in Saudi Arabia this morning. He's on a 4-day trip that will include visits to Qatar and the UAE. It's the first major overseas tour since Trump returned to the White House. And it's to a region where Trump's family business interests have grown significantly. The president's sons have spent the last few weeks crisscrossing the Middle East. They've been laying the groundwork for deals that will benefit the Trump Organization and, in some instances, Trump himself. Meanwhile, former U.S. military and Secret Service officials are raising security concerns about a potential gift from one of the countries Trump is set to visit. The government of Qatar wants to give the U.S. a luxury jet for Trump to use. Yesterday, during a White House news conference, Trump defended his plans to accept the jet.
So I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it very much. I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person and say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane. But I thought it was a great gesture.
Many people are worried about the legal and ethical implications of the president receiving a $400 million plane from a foreign government. The idea even got pushback from normally supportive Fox News hosts yesterday. Fresh inflation data could reveal the first signs of President Trump's trade war. That's number 2. This morning, the Labor Department will release what's known as the Consumer Price Index. It's expected to show that overall inflation rose 0.3% last month, reversing a slight decline in the rate from March. That would be the first official sign that President Trump's tariffs are beginning to push up the prices of goods. And a higher-than-expected inflation report could fuel renewed concerns that inflation is picking up speed. But some analysts predict that a more noticeable rise in consumer prices probably won't come until this month. That would be reflected in the CPI data released next month, rather than in this morning's data. Meanwhile, the stock market surged yesterday after the U.S. and China agreed to dramatically lower tariffs on each other for 90 days. Number 3. White South Africans arrived in the U.S. as refugees. The group of about 50 people landed at Dulles International Airport in Northern Virginia yesterday. They came to the U.S. under a humanitarian designation meant for people fleeing war or persecution. The Trump administration has suspended that designation for all other groups worldwide. Afrikaners are a minority group in South Africa descended from Dutch settlers. Trump has said they face racial discrimination. He has even claimed a genocide was taking place against them. But government officials in South Africa say that allegation lacks any evidence. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau welcomed the South Africans at Dulles yesterday.
As you know, a lot of you, I think, are farmers, right? When you have quality seeds, you can put them in foreign soil and they will blossom, they will bloom. And we are excited to welcome you here to our country where we think you will bloom, and we will hopefully allow you to have fulfilling lives for your children, and then we will bloom and we will benefit alongside you.
South African officials have called the effort to cast the Afrikaner families as refugees a politically motivated ploy designed to question their country's post-apartheid democracy. Number 4. Hamas freed the last living U.S. hostage from Gaza. 21-year-old Adnan Alexander is a U.S. and Israeli citizen and a soldier in Israel's military. Hamas released him yesterday as a goodwill gesture to Trump. It followed direct talks between Hamas and Trump administration officials. Hamas says it wants to start new ceasefire negotiations with Israel. Israel resumed its bombardment of Gaza in March. It's also been more than 2 months since Israel blockaded all aid into the territory. A new report yesterday said that 1 in 5 Palestinians in Gaza are now starving, and the entire territory is at critical risk of famine. The trial of Sean Diddy Combs got underway in New York. That's our 5th story. The music mogul has pleaded not guilty to 5 criminal counts of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. His trial opened yesterday with opening statements and searing testimony from witnesses, including a male escort. They detailed alleged violence, paid sex acts, and coercion by Combs. Today, Combs' former girlfriend is expected to testify. Cassandra Ventura, known as Cassie, filed the first sexual assault lawsuit against Combs in 2023. Since then, more than 70 further lawsuits have been filed. Check our site later this morning for live updates from the trial. Number 6 is bad news for people who hate humidity. It's about to get very sticky across the central and eastern U.S. 37 states as far north as Vermont are forecast to experience high humidity this week. It's only mid-May, but some areas are getting a taste of summer-like levels of mugginess. This moist air is being carried northward by an atmospheric river, which is also bringing dangerous downpours to southern states. And it comes as the country's hottest temperatures of the year so far are forecast for this week. The most persistently humid states will be Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. So if you live in one of those states, make sure you stay hydrated. And you might want to break out the extra strong deodorant. And at number 7, a new artificial intelligence tool can predict biological age from a selfie. Scientists in Boston have developed an intriguing new AI tool. It's called FaceAge. It's an algorithm designed to tell patients' biological age from a simple photograph. Biological age is not how old you are in years, but in health. It's a useful metric to help doctors figure out if a patient is healthy enough to tolerate different therapies. Doctors learn how to form a picture of a patient's health from their face. But in one experiment looking at pictures of cancer patients, the FaceAge algorithm predicted people's life expectancy better than doctors eyeballing the photos alone. The algorithm needs a lot more testing, but it has the potential to help doctors fill out a clinical picture with an objective assessment. I dread to think what it would say about me. All right, you're all caught up. For your next listen, check out the latest episode of Post Reports. My colleagues discuss the release of the last U.S. hostage in Gaza and what it means as Trump visits the Middle East. Find Post Reports wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe to the show. I'm Hannah Jewell. We'll meet you back here tomorrow.
My name is Tom Sietsema, and I am the food critic for The Washington Post. I think a lot of great restaurant meals are like great books, films, or concerts. You don't necessarily need them to live, but don't they make life more worth living? I see myself as sort of a reader advocate going in there, spending the Post's money, coming back and giving you the green light, yield sign, or a stop sign. I like to be seen as sort of the best friend who happens to eat out a lot more than they do. I eat in about 10 restaurants a week. And I like creating memories for people and helping them create memories, whether those are first date, a 50th anniversary, grandma's 90th birthday, if you have special needs, whether they're dietary or otherwise. When you subscribe to The Washington Post, you support this kind of journalism. Learn more at subscribe.washingtonpost.com. I'm Tom Sietsema, and I'm one of the people behind the Post.